welcome to a Scratch video. Today I am going to do a tutorial. Oh, I got another follower. Neat. Alright, and today I'm going to be doing my Scratch tutorial project. And showing you about some other blocks. No. Now where's the beeping? Oh, there it is. Alright. Now. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So today I'm going to cover some of the other blocks. Last time we did event blocks and say blocks specifically. So let's get into it. I think covering the looks category sounds like a good idea. So we're going to drag out a win green flag look block. And let's cover the think blocks first. Now, just like the say blocks, there are two types of think blocks. But now, for the default for say blocks is to have the sprite say hello. Default for think blocks is to have it think Right. So I'm going to do a correct comparison using two different event blocks. When this sprite clicked, say hello, and when the green flag clicked, it should say hello. Alright, so it thinks, Now, at first it seems like there's no difference. Now, I'm gonna change something. Instead of this, I'm gonna have a forever loop. Say hello and think Alright. Let's do this. Hello. I don't think this is a good enough comparison. So let's have it do the same thing. Except it says so. Notice how it only changes this. At first it's just sort of this coming out thing for the say blocks, but for the think blocks, it's these dots. That's to show that it's not saying it out loud, but it is thinking it. And this think block, it doesn't have anything, so it'll simply just make it say until it is over. So now the rest of the looks category, green flag clicked, we have the costume, switch costume 2, and then there are two different costumes in the default Scratch Cat. Costume 1 and costume 2. One kind of looks like it's walking. Alright. So we can change these costumes using these blocks. So like see here where it's at this costume. Now, if I click on this thingy, I can make it switch to costume 1. You can also add variables. So right now my variable is actually at 0, so I'm curious to see what happens. Okay, it goes to its last costume apparently, so it's like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, it just goes to that costume. Okay. So now the next costume block simply sets it to the next costume in line. So it's like this because we have only two costumes. However, I'm going to add a new costume and just sort of make this box thingy. Alright. So now you'll see also, I'm gonna start a new series all about all of these tutorials. It is going to be a playlist. So stick around and see what happens. Alright, that's enough in the looks category for now. Let's head over to the control category. This has a lot of very important blocks. I'm probably going to still be using some say blocks. However, I think first it's important to cover the sensing category. So, this one, touching mouse pointer. So right now it's false, but hang on. If we do this and make it so, it's possible to actually put this inside a say block. Now let's put this inside a forever loop. Which also, by the way, forever loops loop what's inside them forever until they're stopped. They're from the control category. Okay. False, true. Notice that we are notice that it says true when we're touching the sprite. And it has to be the actual art of the sprite. Sprites don't really have separate hitboxes in Scratch. So either way, and also thought I'd mention say blocks and think blocks. So like this, I previously mentioned it goes until it says another thing, but this can also be thinking another thing, and vice versa. So it can be thinking, say hello, that interrupts the thing. Alright? Thought I'd mention. Now, touching color. We're gonna have to mess around a bit with the background in order to do this. So, stick with me, alright? Now, let's do another forever loop. And now, I want it to say, so let's get out a new forever loop with now we're gonna have two say blocks for 2 seconds. So, the first one is touching this color, which is like sort of a pinkish thing. Is it touching that color? True. Its ears are touching the color. Now say we're gonna do another touching color block. This time we're gonna input this one. So true. And you notice it's staying as true. And then after that, let's make it go to our mouse pointer. Alright. Now, let's start over. True, it's not touching the purple anymore. Now, if we force it all the way over here, false, and it just keeps doing false. But here it's false, then true, false, true, true, false. Alright. Enough messing around. And, so this is completely covering basically all of it. However, it doesn't think it's touching the color. That's because it's not built to detect. It just detects whether it's touching the color visibly. I'm gonna keep this background. Only because I just kind of like it. Alright. Now, from the sensing category, color blank is touching color blank. Okay? And in this case, it is false. So it's false. Okay. Why don't we try cat colors? Colors of a scratch cat. That and a color of a scratch cat and this. True. Okay, so you basically so I think what works is you select one specific color of your character and then another color that you're trying to test if it's touching. I'm honestly gonna do this one. False. True. Alright. Distance to blank. Let's put it in a forever loop with the distance and have it say the distance to the mouse pointer, which at the moment is the only option. I don't know why they have an egg. So it's changing, but so that's, and also most sprite calculations are calculated from the center of the sprite. This thing right here. So if you want, you can actually manipulate that to get really cool turning objects. It is really neat. Meaning, and because this is a calculation that requires the sprite, it is checking from our distance of the mouse pointer from the very center of the sprite. Either way, ask blank. Answer an answer. Let's focus on the ask variable, on the ask block first. However, I should display the answer, her variable thingy. So the answer is what the player replies to the ask. Why don't I just show you? So it's gonna ask us what our name is. What's your name? In this case, I'm gonna enter Orange Gaming System, my channel name. And notice that even the spaces appear. So now, what's the answer? Orange Gaming System. We're able to push this by taking this operator, which is the equal checker thingy. So in this case, let's check if it's so it basically checks if something equals something else. So we're gonna check if the answer is Orange Gaming System. This is just an example, by the way. So, by the way, if conditions are like, if this certain thing is true, then run this. So in this case, so I want it to say, huge fan. So now, currently, and also when we start, it clears it, or when we press this. So either way, let's say Orange Gaming System again. Now that, also, by the way, notice that it's checking for all the first letters of each word capitalized, it still says huge fan, but it's getting blocked off. That's the reason. Alright, either way. What's your name? Orange Gaming System. Huge fan. Okay. So, I'm honest. So, I'm thinking. So, by the way, as this tutorial goes, we're going to be, of course, adding a lot of new things to cope with the different things. Like a cute sound effect. Cute, I know. New sprites, this background. So, I'm thinking we keep that. I keep that all, and then create a project, an actually interesting project on camera. Now, this has been a lot to introduce, but I want to finish it off with the variables. So let's make a new variable that's called score. So this check mark is whether it's showing or not. You can drag this around, and there's different readouts. There's normal readout, large readout, and slider. The normal readout this is the normal readout, large readout, and slider. Now, if you have slider selected, there's a new option that's change slider range. I'm going to set the minimum value to 5. However, at first it was at 0, so let's set it to 5. And then the maximum value to 300 instead of 100. Now take a look. It doesn't allow it allows us to go down to 5 and up to 300. And it doesn't seem that you're able to extend it. So all right. Now let's set it back to the normal readout. So set variable to blank. Let's set the score to 0, so like for the beginning of a game. Then this change a variable by blank. In this case, let's change it by 1. Maybe every time we click on the scratch cat, it changes the score by 1. However, I don't know, let's add an if condition around this so that you also have to be touching a key in order for it to happen. Mixing and matching ideas is what makes Scratch so cool. Okay, now what's going on? Something's not right, so I'm just not going to keep this a variable. And so there's a lot of these, curved inputs. That means it can store variables and these other curved things. However, take a look. There's also these inputs that have these diamond-shaped things. Well, they can't fit these. They need one of the diamond-shaped things. And you can do this if you want. And so, variables show variable blank and hide variable blank. Hide variable means it makes the variable invisible. However, keep in mind that we can still edit the variable. We set the score to 0, hide the variable, change it by 1, show the variable, you'll notice it changed to 1 while it was hidden. That and I'm feeling like showing off the custom blocks real quick. So custom blocks, I'm just gonna go over the basic. Let's call this one example. I'm not gonna go over any of these. So example, define example. So what does this mean? We're basically creating a block using Scratch's blocks. So let's make it play the sound meow until done. Wait 1 second and then play it again until done. Now I want to add a when green flag clicked block and play sound meow until done after that. Now listen closely. Notice that it jumped 2 meows at the very end. That's because we're trying to simulate blocks here. So therefore the block doesn't think the block will not end until it's done all its code. Now you're probably wondering, what if we delete this define block? Well, it says to delete a block definition, first remove all uses of the block. Okay? Meaning we have to remove the example. Nothing happens. Now, let's try removing the block definition. Our block disappeared because it is no longer usable. So, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And keep messing around with Scratch. And with that said, goodbye.